Hi guys, welcome back. It's Wednesday, May 5th. This actually is our first anniversary for the Waxing On show. Hard to believe it's been a year. You can see on Monday, and we've continued it on for the rest of the week of celebrations, we're broadcasting from New York City. Just want to thank my production team here for looking after our backdrops and all the work they've done this year with the photography they do and the editing and the film preparation. It's hard to believe it's been a year, 150 some episodes, and we're still going. I'd also like to thank again everybody that's been watching the show, liking it, subscribing to the YouTube channel, sharing the posts and the videos. Just great to get this information out here. It started as me just doing a visit through my record collection, but I hope I'm bringing some new music to the people that watch. Maybe people they hadn't thought of checking out or they'd forgotten about. And now with everything being available to us online, it's a chance to go back and reconnect with some of those tunes and some of those bands that you knew from years ago. Okay, today we're going to the mid-70s. Not quite the new wave era, but just prior to the arrival of people like Elvis Costello and Joe Jackson that we've already spoken about. And today we're looking at Graham Parker, a fellow that one of my friends refers to as the British Springsteen. Well, we're looking at Graham Parker's first two albums that came out. First one being Howling Wind, Graham Parker and the Rumor. Now the Rumor was a club band that was playing on their own and recorded on their own as well, but they were backing up Graham Parker on the first two albums. This one I especially like because producing, Nick Lowe. And if you watched any of the previous shows I've talked about, certainly Nick Lowe is one of my favorites. When he's involved, Elvis Costello, I thought some of his best work was when Nick Lowe was producing. He carried on, and again, this was before Elvis, but he carried on with that same style when he was doing producing with this group, with Rockpile, Dave Edmunds. It was just a certain style that he had that really brought the music alive and made it really accessible and fun to listen to. Okay, on this one we've got, let's take a look at the Rumor, and this is a band, again, that was a band unto itself. Brinsley Schwartz, and again, that name sounds familiar, although I can't place where I know him from, but it was a very recognizable name. On the guitars, Bob Andrew on keyboards, Martin Belmont on guitar, Stephen Goulding on drums, and Andrew Bodnar on Fender bass. And this first album, a couple of nice hits. We got White Honey, we've got Howling Wind, and there was another one I liked on here a lot. Oh, Back to School Days. And again, that to me sounded really like a Nick Lowe kind of tune. Just some other ideas what we got. Nothing's Gonna Pull Us Apart, Silly Thing, Gypsy Blood, You and Me, Soul Shoes, You've Got to Be Kidding, Don't Ask Me Questions. Not a lot of ones that I'd recognize as big hits, but when I listen to them, they're all great tunes. Part of it's the production, part of it's just Graham Parker writing all this great material and the way he performs it. Now, one of my favorites was his second album that came out called Heat Treatment. And I had this one obviously on album, also had it on cassette. I've got it on my iPod right now, or my phone at this point. I guess it was on the iPod, now it's on my phone. And it's one I come back to a lot. It was one of my favorite ones. And again, all the material written by Graham Parker. We've got some production from Nick Lowe, but then there's others being done by Robert John Lang. We got the same backup band with the Rumor. We've also added some brass in here. We got saxes, trombones, trumpets, a little brass section supporting him. Songs like Heat Treatment, That's What They All Say, Turned Up Too Late, Black Honey, Hotel Chambermaid, Something You're Doing, Something You're Going Through, Help Me Shake It, Fool's Gold. And again, not a lot of tunes that I'd recognize from airplay. I mean, this music wasn't really something like the old music that you had hits that were on AM radio. I remember hearing Graham Parker and the Rumor on FM radio. We even had a high profile of him on one of our FM stations called Shea 106 at one time. And that's where that British Springsteen came in with, you know what I'm talking about. They're great albums. They're very accessible. There was some great music. And I found Graham Parker didn't change a lot. I was checking out one of his albums from 2017, and really, it still sounds like him. The style still seems to be the same. Where a lot of artists tend to go off and do things that are very unusual or very different, Graham Parker's kind of stayed true to what he was doing. And those of you that were fans of the album Squeezing Out Sparks, a few years ago, 40th anniversary, it's an acoustic solo performance of the album. And it's available on the streaming networks as well. So if you want to hear it without the band, just him singing his tunes, the Squeezing Out Sparks album, great place to start. He's also got a couple other live albums, and I think they are also acoustic performances. But he's still out there and going. 2018 was his last release that I saw, so it's not like he's kind of faded from sight. He may not be a household name to a lot of people, but if you take a minute and check him out, you may find something really interesting and a lot of fun. I found these albums were really interesting when I got them, and it's been a treat going back, listening to them again, getting in preparation for this show. So the album we're looking at here, I had Howling Wind, was his first release. It was actually the second album I bought, and one of my favorites from the early days, Heat Treatment. And again, available on the streaming networks, available to buy in hard copies. Check it out on YouTube. So that's it for today. Some interesting music from Graham Parker back in the mid-70s. So we'll see you on Friday. Everybody take care. Thanks for stopping by.